Just an earth-shattering offering in our vault marketplace that we are absolutely delighted to be featuring and want to take a moment to highlight here in this video. Few trading cards, regardless of sport, hold the level of importance of the Nolan Ryan rookie card. This is the preeminent issue from the 1960s, and in our opinion, upon the release of this issue, it would be the most important baseball card probably produced until, in our opinion, the 93 SP Jeter, which we're not saying is more important, but that's probably the first legitimate competitor to this 1968 Nolan Ryan rookie. What's interesting also about that is in 92, the year predating the SP Jeter, that was Nolan Ryan's last year of play. What makes Nolan Ryan's brand so iconic is there's many things. He has statistics which I think will never be touched in terms of strikeouts and various things, but the fact that he played in 4 different decades and was highly competitive in all 4 decades. He started in the 1960s, played in the 70s, 80s, and the 90s. Just a staggering tenure in a game where as a fast pitch thrower, like the fastball arm doesn't really hold up like that very often. He really transcends the longevity idea, and especially nowadays with pitchers and the surgeries and how infrequently they're able to maintain a high level of performance over a long period of time. I don't think since like Cy Young do we have a guy who pitched with such regularity at such a high level for so long. Nolan Ryan is one of those living legends that the phrase I heard was, if he'd just run for governor in the state of Texas, he'd probably win. As a brand, we think this is one of the most important trading cards that exists, and it remains woefully undervalued in our opinion. So that's all about the card. In addition to that, this is, statistically speaking, this is the single largest post-war blue chip in terms of trade volume and market cap. So this is the #1 post-war blue chip. In terms of value to sales volume, this is bigger than a 52 Mantle. This affects the market more than a 52 Topps Mantle, the 68 Nolan Ryan, because of its pervasiveness. So from an investment perspective, this is right at the top of the list. And then now that I've belabored the importance of the card, now we can focus on what really makes this card obviously museum worthy, and that is the fact this is the one and only PSA 10 that exists in our entire market. This is the single finest copy to ever pass through PSA. It is the only 10. In a market where there are about 10,000 that have ever graded, there are a few dozen 9s. There are something in the 600-700 8s. This is the one and only 10 that exists in our market. It is the best of the best, and it sets a tone that is really truly museum worthy. This card was somewhat recently assessed in the prior years. It's got what we would say is a 21 million serial number, so it's definitely part of the modern grading era, and it just glistens. It's absolutely worthy of the lofty grade as it was assigned. It's a virtually perfect card as we would expect. And we'll want to take a moment to just kind of highlight some of those details, but this is just a absolutely staggering investment piece that we're delighted to be featuring here in our vault. The features that really set off the condition characteristics of the 68 Ryan for us predominantly are print and centering. Both have a long history of being quite terrible on 68 Ryans. The print issues are most frequently seen in the purple print circle here, which is usually plagued with lots of light colored print dots and print circles, and especially down here in the black nameplates we can see print flaws that sometimes exist down there. Also in the background we would sometimes see print snow. This one is about as well printed as you could ever hope to find. It's absolutely crisp, perfectly focused, the color is strong. And then we can move on to the centering, which really sets a tone of perfection that also is very rarely seen. The top to bottom centering, you have to give a little bit of space on top of the lettering to get the even spacing. This is about as close to perfectly centered as you could ever hope to see. Right to left's dead, top to bottom is dead. It's just absolutely staggering. Usually the backs are pretty off-centered. This one's centered quite a bit better than what we would typically see as well. Perfectly preserved. There's no blemishes or flaws to speak of. And then coming in to look at the corners and the details, it's a card without wear. The corners and edges are absolutely pristine. Crisp and well preserved. There's no flecks or chips of any kind. And from the back. Very similar to the front as we would expect. It's just a, beautifully preserved card worthy of the lofty grade. So, all told, this is a world-class investment piece. There's really no other way to say it. The brand of Nolan Ryan, what the 68 Ryan rookie represents to the blue chip market, this being the single finest copy that exists in our market. If you're looking to build a portfolio in traded cards and you want the very, very best from both brand and quality perspective, this card checks all the boxes. It's just a world-class investment piece that belongs on the finest list that exists today. If you consider your collection to be the best of the best, this is a card that's certainly worthy of serious consideration. So we could not be more delighted to have it in our possession, and we're hope people enjoy this video.